All right, so a story that's been breaking, not really, not breaking, but rumored for years, obviously, because this is the world we live in. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is now, quote unquote, definitely in early development. Now, we've been getting GTA 6 rumors since, like, immediately after GTA 5, especially when it really got popular on the PS4 and stuff like that. But apparently, according to a Kotaku report, Rockstar is working on a new GTA title that's in very early development. You gotta realize these are the team, though they have huge teams and lots of employees and great talent there. They did finish, Red Dead. What's been 2 years? 1 year? 2?
2 years.
2 years. So going on 2 years, it's been. So obviously they've been working on their other titles. I still believe there is another title before we get GTA 6. I'm also curious if GTA 6 is actually GTA 6, if it's not just a new online
expansion or something.
MMO-like GTA experience, which I think would probably be a step in the wrong direction. Because I think GTA Online works because you have such a solid single player. And we see that with Red Dead. Red Dead's online is not as highly regarded as Grand Theft Auto's, but the single player is untouched because it is perfect. So I'm curious if specifically if it's GTA 6 or if it's GTA colon something else and it's like a completely online experience. I've always liked the GTA titles. I always dabble with them. I never really get like super into them. I did beat GTA 5 once. I think I got the best ending I could get or something like that. But I know you're a bigger fan of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, most definitely. As for this GTA 6 news, again, I think it's a good observation on your part that this can take many forms. Mm-hmm. It could be a GTA 6. It could be something related to GTA Online. I know in terms of the future of GTA, the online component is guaranteed to be a part of that. They give up single player before they give up this online. Just the amount of, we're talking billions of dollars that they've generated from this online thing. It's one of the most successful online titles of all time. It's still selling incredibly well. And though the story mode aspect of GTA 5 is an important part of it and had a great deal of relevance when it came out. This game came out in 2013. This is 7 years ago. So when we're talking about the newer acquisitions of this game in 2020, probably for the past, 5 years or so, this is more so acquisitions for the online component of it. So you're kind of talking about two different fan bases. There's the GTA Online people who have never touched the Michael, Franklin, Trevor story. Mm-hmm. They know nothing about that. It's kind of like some like Call of Duty people on a bigger scale. Like some people go straight to the online, some people like the campaign. These are almost like two different groups. And I think Rockstar gives up on the single player people before they give up on the online people. However, I think ultimately the future involves both. They're obviously committed to some degree of campaign, again, with their Red Dead aspect. Like that was an experience that prioritized the campaign over the online. And it's almost kind of the opposite now with GTA, where they focused on the online. So I don't know if they now, going into future, their campaign, all the writers, all hands on deck, go on to the kind of the Red Dead. That's going to be their single player offering. And then, GTA is more of an online experience because that's just where the money is funneling in. And GTA allows them to make, single player campaign games like Red Dead. It kind of finances them. I don't know if we get a GTA 6 campaign because I don't know how much that campaign holds mainstream relevance and is worth worth it in the bottom line. I don't know. But I think in some capacity it shows up. I just don't know if it's going to have that online integration. I don't know if you get a full offline GTA 6. I don't know if that's necessarily the direction they want to go in or that makes enough financial sense. I will give it a try no matter what. I was a big fan of GTA 5. I've played it for years now. I still dabble in it, for the past 7 years. I've kind of dipped in and out of it. So it's kind of a big part of my gaming history. So, and I think it's important to understand what they mean by early development too. I think it's nuts to think that, for the past 7 years, they've been twiddling their thumbs with GTA and they have not dealt with it. And they're just now being like, hey, you want to make GTA 6? All right, let's get started. I think that's nuts. Obviously, since they've seen enormous success with 5, it's been in some degree of pre-production. I just think active development is probably what they're in the early stages of now in terms of building that world, building assets, forming a strong narrative. I think that's what's happening now. But the pre-production has to have been going on for years now. I mean, they have investors, they have stakeholders that demand like, hey, this property that you have massive amounts of money coming in from, where's the sequel for that? That has to have happened for their bottom line, and just for the nature of the industry. There's always something new being created and funded. So when a lot of people are kind of going online and losing their minds, like they're just starting now, I think it's important to understand that there's a certain level of like clickbait journalism happening right here, right now. That GTA 6 is kind of like a trigger word and has people clicking on the stories. I think this is, for the most part, a non-story. We don't get too much new information here other than Rockstar saying concretely, hey, a new title is coming. But for the most part, this is something that has been in development in some degree for years now. And they're probably just finally moving resources and manpower into development of GTA 6 directly, as opposed to kind of it being a side thing incubating in the deepest levels of Rockstar. That's been happening probably for the past 7 years, realistically. So that's probably mostly what's going on here. It's coming. It's probably, again, not going to be something we get until probably the midpoint of next gen, realistically. It's years off, most definitely. But I seriously doubt, and I'm willing to put money down, this is not something they're just beginning. They're just beginning super active development, in my view.
Yeah, for sure. You have to realize that. So somehow, I don't know how they do it over there, but Rockstar usually keeps things pretty under wraps.
Yeah.
They usually don't have big leaks. I know, anytime there are some sort of like quote unquote leaks, it's usually like Rockstar is slowly, like they were releasing that the V for Grand Theft Auto 5 with the money symbols, and they were the ones quote unquote leaking it for hype. Obviously, that's advertisement and stuff like that. So they're not ones to leak. Obviously, yeah, GTA 6 has been in at least talks from early on, as you have people move as GTA 5 was wrapping up. People were then moving on to Red Dead 2, which obviously was a bigger portion. And then, it's not like as soon as they finish GTA 5, they're like, now we start on Red Dead. No, the engine is there. They have to start building the world. You have to start getting voice actors and motion cap. And, they did a lot of research on, like, what fish lived in what ponds. Like, there's all this other stuff that goes into it. Developing from the get-go right now would be ridiculous. You wouldn't see another GTA till, almost the end of the PS5 and Xbox Series cycle, which is obviously not going to happen. So people do need to calm down. Like you said, people are also so anticipated. You got to realize there are not, quote unquote non-gamers that only play GTA. When I worked at GameStop like 2 years ago, constantly people would be coming in, oh, I saw the leak of Grand Theft Auto 6, you can drive the whole United States, when can I pre-order it?
Yeah.
And I would just be like, I gotta be nice because I was being paid, but I was like, bro, come on, they haven't even announced it. Come on, they just released whatever Back to the Future cars in GTA 5 online, so they're not gonna let stuff like that leak. Rockstar is way too big to let that kind of dumb stuff leak. But like you said, it is a trigger word. People are excited. I think people just kind of have to wait. I have a feeling that they're probably gonna release another, because they were teasing like they had another game kind of in the works. It'll probably be a smaller game.
Could be like a Bully or something.
Yeah, like a Bully, because Bully isn't, especially in this day and age, I'd love to see how a Bully would work. But with so many sensitive and different kind of variables. But that would be a smaller game where he was living in boarding school, right, in Bully?
Yeah, it was fairly self-contained.
Yeah,
there was a little town around it too.
That's a smaller thing you can do, and obviously there will be the Rockstar touches with go to the tennis court and get your stamina up and stuff like that. But the storyline will be a little bit more fast-paced than Red Dead, or instead of taking a sweet time waiting it, getting diseases and stuff like that won't happen per se in Bully. Would be a whole lot different. But I probably would expect one more smaller title before you even get the full-fledged GTA 6. Because when GTA 6 is going to come out, you're going to know. It's not going to sneak up on anyone.
No, and it's one of those things that it's kind of like a guaranteed thing to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And I know it's like 7 years old, at this point, GTA 5, but the returns haven't slowed down. So from a Rockstar point of view, they have no reason to rush. It's not like GTA by any means is a dead property. If anything, it's bigger than it's ever been. So they can really take their time here. Red Dead is still, a popular thing. Their name is still in the popular, mainstream conversation. So the whole idea, it's like, where's GTA 6? It's been forever. It's like they have zero reason to to rush things, because again, their bottom line is not hurting. They are not hurting for money right now. Their games are still selling. It's still like in the top 10 sold across all consoles for years now.
Yeah.
So there's no reasons for them to crank out a GTA 6 sooner than it needs to be. So if they come out, launch the next gen, mid next gen, or even on the tail end of next gen, they're going to be all right. And people are going to play it no matter what, and that's going to buy them another 10 years to work on the next property, GTA 7 or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, it's going to show up in some capacities. It's just a matter of when, not if.
Yeah, and you got to realize that they're taking their time because they do care about the IP, the property, and the fan base. They're not taking their time because they're lazy. They're taking their time because they want to at least match the success of 5, if not blow it out the water. So that's what's really taking their time, is because they could have cranked one out really quick. They didn't do any DLC story-based wise, obviously. Surprisingly, even though there was some rumors they were doing that. So, that's what they're doing. They want their game to be up to par. And, you don't want to do less than what you did to your previous, game. You want to blow it out of the water. You want to get better with your sequels, not, you don't want to dilute it and get worse.
Yeah, and I mean, they have the massive task of how do you outdo GTA 5. GTA 5 built upon the framework of 4, which built upon the framework of Vice City, San Andreas and 3. So they've always kind of, upped the ante with each release. And 5 was just, we're talking about a seriously big game. And not just so much in the map size, but in terms of content offered, all these years later and the amount they put into it. So how do you one-up that? I think that's something that they probably even have trouble answering, but they're, figuring it out, and it takes time to do that. So when they come out, they're obviously a developer and publisher that like to invest in their properties and double down on it and put down the work and the money into these properties once they come out for years to come. So they don't want to come out, with the same set of issues that they bumped into with 5, so they have to make sure the online is their day one. They're not going to bump into that situation again where they launch a game without that aspect and just kind of cut off that money supply. Yeah. So they have a big Herculean level task for them to figure out, and that's going to obviously take time. So we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear something from them soon.